Okay, welcome to the Safing live stream to this lovely Thursday, July the 27th. I'm glad for everybody who's showing up. I wanted to sort of like pre-pitch it this time a little bit better. Not sure if that worked. If you still have not seen or if there's still a confusion in regards to the time, I know we had somebody asking on the Discord. I think I put it correctly into YouTube. So the time, at least for me, it shows the correct time. I hope YouTube is smart enough. I think Google has the resources and they artificial intelligence somewhere in their data centers to convert CS like Central European summertime into your local time.
But it's not only conversion, it's also tracking, because Google needs to know where these people are.
Oh, that is true.
I mean, Google is amazing at tracking, so definitely YouTube will figure it out for you when it starts.
it at least should. So, as usual, every other week, for everybody who does not know, we are here. We try to be here each week. It's
each second week.
Every other week, yes, exactly.
Week,
It did not work. If it does not work, I try to let you know in advance. But you can, if you want to watch this stream live, you can put it into the calendar. Sometimes the announcements are a little bit late. I know. I'm sorry. I'll try to do better. But I already see Matt is here. So Matt, just to get it up ahead, your question will be tackled today. I did not forget, so I let Daniel know, even though he came out of vacation today, about the question, and so he has been pondering about a good answer for the whole morning. So I hope he has a good answer. Not wanting to raise any expectations here. Okay, but let's start with the main topic for today. We are in very interesting times at the moment.
You mean we're having fun?
We are having fun. We are having fun, and as the title of this live stream says, we have at the moment 3 simultaneous Portmaster releases, and we're getting bug reports for all 3 of them, which is super
too many of them, which is weird because nobody should be using them. Per like our description.
But see, this is the reason.
I'll actually, I'll open up
GitHub
Portmaster
Portmaster
just to read what people are ignoring to make my point.
No. If you are one of the people who are on staging at the moment, I actually want to thank them. Even though it might say that staging is not meant for regular use, I'm glad that people are reporting issues and that stuff is coming in. We already know that 1.3 has some issues.
Just minor issues. Minor issues with big impact, possibly.
Yeah. Do you want to share that already?
No. I just started investigating.
Okay, we're starting investigating.
We don't almost know nothing.
But I wanted to share why we're currently in 3 releases at the same time.
Let's start at the beginning.
We have, as you know, worked, and I think we talked about this 2 weeks ago as well, but we have worked for most of this stuff for the last like half a year. 1.0 has been released late last year, and we did not have a 1.2 release for like the rest of the time. We have been working on all of those things, and it just so happens to now, like all conversion, we have 2 sort of bigger releases now during the summer. But of course, all of them should be tested as well, and everything should have time to breathe and be tested. And this is the reason why we are having 3 releases. Like 1.1 is the only stable release at the moment, but there are people in beta. Thank you for all those people and who are reporting stuff. We already have a couple of things we know we need to fix in 1.2. And 1.3, since it's already basically like it is working, we have it in staging. So for all those people who want to be on the very, very cutting edge of stuff, where 1.3 is already there. And I wanted to mention this on the live stream and let people know how the status is, because since the last live stream, this has changed and stuff has come up. And I said last time was the roadmap for the summer, and it's looking okay, I'd say. 1.3 release in August, I think, is what we said.
Yeah.
And this is absolutely still something that
In line,
2 weeks later we'd say would work out.
Yeah.
You want to add some stuff, Tinkles, tits and bits,
To
what I said about the two releases,
okay, good.
some minor and potential major impacts.
Well, so 1.2 is in the beta release channel right now, which means quite some of you are testing that for us. Thanks for that. There seems to be a small issue with our systemd configuration file on Linux, so this only affects Linux users, where our systemd, which is the system management engine used in most of Linuxes nowadays, is preventing Portmaster from using a Linux feature, because we tried to make our systemd unit file secure as possible, just kind of to mitigate kind of potential negative impact on a system. Actually, systemd is capable of doing similar things as Docker, and uses kind of the same technology. They're kind of to set up a semi-secured space in our case, because of course Portmaster needs a lot of access to system. We turned off the access to the system, the parts of the system we don't need. And we didn't foresee that we're going to need another part of the system now, so that's something we are working on fixing. Not sure yet how that fix will look like. Maybe some of you will have to update your unit files, or just run the Linux installer again. But yeah,
just run the installer again.
Yeah, the installer is very if you just install it again, it's not an issue, because
it does not delete stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't delete stuff.
The configuration stays in place.
Yeah, it doesn't download new stuff, so it's a really quick update. That's 1.2, but from what I've heard from Windows users, it works semi-great.
I'm not sure. I added this to the GitHub issue as well, where somebody was mentioning that on the current beta release, some of the games don't work. And I don't know if I shared this, but I game in my free time as well. I know. And so I recently figured out that a game I play, which is uses easy anti-cheat as well. Hate that piece of software. But either Portmaster is blocking now stuff which it should have blocked earlier, which I don't see, at least in Network Monitor. It's Windows 11 as well, because easy anti-cheat. So anybody who's writing in and it's like, oh, on Windows 11 Portmaster, I'm running it on Windows 11 on a personal, like on my gaming rig. So it is working, but some of the stuff it just doesn't like. And I don't know, like many games and typical software run, but some easy anti-cheat games just break, and I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's still stuff to look into, which we'll do.
So regular use is absolutely fine, and I think like what the 1.2 release, which is the current beta release, does is reducing the stuff in other connections. And on both Fedora and Windows 11, I have not, like, there is no other connections at this point anymore. Like, everything is sorted, everything like is attributed to something. And so I think the potential improvement is huge.
It is.
But yeah, see, so that's the thing where I'm like, I don't know what in the chain now breaks easy anti-cheat, but yeah.
Either. We'll look into it. And,
But anti-cheat software, as many of you watching probably know, it's cancer. And it's sort of like an evil I'd like to get rid of, but yeah.
But it's attached to an organ you need to survive, so It's really
No, I don't need gaming to survive. That's not true. But I still enjoy it, and so it's on its own box, and I might share with you at a later date if you're interested in how I separate those things.
that's an interesting
But
thing, though,
yeah, so it's really just a gaming box with nothing else on it. So I don't care about easy anti-cheat that much, sniffing around. Also, there's Portmaster. So, okay. Yeah, it runs well on. So you're saying it's like we already know like how to go about it on Linux. We're investigating how to go about it on Windows. And 1.3, are there any?
Do you want to give a precursor to 1.3? Are kind of changes in there? Or
I think we already talked about this last time. We talked about the history module. We shared this.
yeah, we did. But you want to reshare for new people listening in?
Sure.
Okay.
A bit, but
a quick roundup.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, sure. Okay, I can do it. So 1.3 will be one of kind of the biggest release since 1.0.
That's
so
this as well.
1.3 will have the long-awaited network history, which means you'll be able to record the history of network connections for some time. We don't know the technical limits yet. We'll find out. But theoretically, as long as you want and your hardware is capable of.
And I think this is partly as well the thing where we're not sure. It depends on your hard drive speed, maybe. When it starts breaking down, and calling up all the information
just
and
kind
stuff.
of being too slow. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, things to be figured out, but network history is in 1.3, and we are testing stuff there. It seems to be breaking on Windows because of a Windows path issue. Windows paths, but yeah, seems to be working well on Linux so far. But there's one big change with 1.3 is that this is the first new feature that won't be in the free plan, but will be in the what's called supporter plan right now, and will be called Portmaster Plus in the new feature. So there's some restructuring going on there. We've talked about the reasons and stuff like that last live stream, and there will be a blog post detailing all of this within the coming weeks.
Yeah, beginning of August.
So there will be some official information, and you'll see the updated pricing pages in the next weeks. But 1.3 right now is only you can of course just use 1.3, but the history, the network history, will only be available to you if you're logged in and subscribed to either Portmaster Supporter or Portmaster Unlimited.
Yeah. But I think you had a great idea last time that we might be gifting a couple of weeks of Portmaster Plus for people who want to test it on the Discord. This has not happened yet. So if you're watching this and are not part of the Discord, I know, maybe leave a comment down below. Maybe we will do some stuff on YouTube as well. We have not figured it out. It won't be like hundreds of codes, but like typically people watching these live streams are about 80. At least that's what YouTube is saying. So maybe we do 80. I don't know. But if you want one, leave a comment below. Join the Discord. My DMs are not open. Don't DM Daniel.
I don't.
But we will find a way. Maybe I create a thread on the Discord. Maybe just write a comment here. If you're not already a supporter, a couple of weeks Portmaster Plus is something that we can definitely share. We also talk with the contributors. I guess you've seen those on Discord as well. Those are the ones with the orange name and the hammer next to it. Though the contributors already know about those changes and stuff, and I like their feedback. And if you have feedback in regards to this is great. You said talk about the reasons in the last time. I think just quickly maybe, one of the cool things for the future will be that this will enable us to have Portmaster support Portmaster and SPN support SPN, and this makes it easier. You don't have to sort of like pay for the SPN to get Portmaster, to give Portmaster the support and stuff like that. And sort of like how we think about it is that all stuff which is core privacy, because network monitor, like, it is interesting information, but like the filtering is for privacy and the information is for curiosity, which we understand. And so we see this as a great sort of like in between thing where
that's also where we draw the line. Where
core privacy stuff will always be free.
We definitely want to empower everyone to have privacy, and everything on top of that will probably be in one of the paid plans to support development.
Exactly.
So you get all the basic protection for free, and for more curiosity or more control and the likes.
Exactly.
You can get the additional packages.
Exactly. Also, it gives us a great way to sort of like, for contributors, people who are engaging, to sort of like, and they maybe don't care about SPN or stuff like that, to have sort of like something we can give away easier, which brings value. I hope that Portmaster Free brings value to a lot of people already, and we see this. People are saying thank you, and we heard this a lot. Sometimes some people called us crazy for giving it away for free, but privacy is important to us, and so this is not a topic where we want to change our minds. Portmaster needs to be free, but this is sort of like the way we think about it in those tiers. Cool. Maybe we are going into the first question, or do you want to add something into that? If somebody has a question, please ask them on the Discord or on the YouTube, and we can come back to it. But otherwise, we already have a question.
I would shortly go into the release that are out there.
Okay, sure.
Because that is unusual for us, and this also means we kind of we're not sure how we're gonna handle things like this right now, because now we have kind of bugs in multiple versions. So we might. I know if we're gonna just skip forward to 1.3.1 with the bug fixes, or if we'll kind of do hot fixes somewhere. But this is an interesting point to be in. But definitely, if you've been using staging, I'm gonna tell you shouldn't have been doing that. The official documentation says use others, which is staging and support, only temporarily and when instructed. So, because we sometimes just push things we want to try out to there, you don't necessarily want to have these updates.
Because like, what could be consequences? It's not that you just see features which others won't see. Sometimes those have no way back. Like, they can be breaking changes, which cannot be reverted or stuff like that. Like, so staging truly is something you should not be on. So we don't care what we push there. Like
some
or we do care, but it's like
some updates do have like special procedures for kind of upgrading between versions. And usually there's no downgrade path, so you can't easily go back, so we'll break Portmaster or part of it. And we use the staging channel for that, because then we can a lot more easily try the many systems, just to be sure it's working on all of our machines, which we can easily fix because we know how it works. And before like pushing into beta and then stable.
Because then troubleshooting then is much harder.
Exactly. So we, of course, it is not really cool that you can select staging so easily. We'll change that in the future, but we're trying to get forward with the important stuff, and we kind of rely on people reading. We know that's not always good, and we try to reduce our reliance on people reading. But sometimes, yeah, we.
You are good in reading. We know this. People watching, as I said, always great. There's a reason why we're doing this.
Yeah.
But I feel like
I was just wanted to stress the staging point here.
Yeah. I feel like people watching typically have. I would say you guys know what a layer 8 problem is. And so I when I read support mails, I sometimes have to deal with very hard layer 8 problems, and it's fun. It's fun. This I can
in a
tell
different
you.
way.
In a different way. Yeah, of course. Well, okay. You want to go into the
Sure.
question, because I think it's a great question. So thank you, Matt, for sharing like the question which we want to go into. But also, Matt, thank you for all the pull requests, and I think Sam has been doing pull requests as well, which are now open. I think you have not looked at them.
Yeah, we're trying to get through it now.
Yeah. But thank you to our great contributors for helping us. And you want to?
So the question was, what's the best thing community contributors can do to help? In particular, how can we make sure that what we're doing is worthwhile? I think that's a really great question. I think the most important thing is to talk and ask. So if you want to contribute, before you start doing anything, let's just have a chat and let's see if that is worthwhile. Because if you invest something that either conflicts with something other we're working on, or is something that doesn't go in the direction we believe Portmaster should be going, or is for some other reason not compatible, then that will be wasted effort, and we don't want that. And we also clearly state in the contributor guidelines that, of course, if you just do a small bug fix or a small change here and there, if you want to just submit a PR and we'll talk about it. But in general, please, let's talk first and let's figure out, specify a solution for a problem you're trying to fix. And then we can define a solution and then start working on it. Also, contributions are worthwhile are not only code, but a lot of it is documentation. So that's why we moved from a kind of website-ish system to a wiki-based system in order to help and allow contributors to contribute a lot more easily. So we now already have the wiki up and running, and already have some people on there from the community that help us out. If you want to contribute documentation, that would be great.
Wiki, write to wiki@safing.io. Also, maybe to sort of if you had a look at wiki.safing.io, it is wiki.js, I think, is the backend for it. It's easily it has an what are they called again? Get what you see editor as well.
Yeah, what you see is what you get.
Exactly, what you see is what you get editor, as well as markdown editor. You can do HTML as well, but you don't have to, and I never do. I think markdown editor is very easy to use, and they have great documentation for the wiki as well. So it is very easy to get into. And as you're saying, it's a great way to contribute, even if you don't code. If you have great guides on how to use Portmaster, let us know. Get in touch.
Or if you just see some stuff that's outdated on there, which can happen, tell us. Or if there's been a question, a very interesting one on the Discord that has been answered. Just taking that and putting it on the wiki.
Also, because the support bot is trained on the wiki, it's not trained on the Discord. So it does not go through the Discord and train on answers there, but it is trained on the wiki. And I don't know when they last did an update on the bots, but we can write them if you feel like important stuff has been added. We can ask them to retrain the bots. Maybe we will do an announcement, maybe in a contributor corner on the Discord. So there is a sub corner for those people who are contributors. And so, as I said, like there's a role and there's a corner for them where they can chat and write with each other. And I wanted to add to that as well, because you said talking about it. I think it's a good way to sort of like say what you wrote into the contributor announcement channel. You described it like there is a forum thing, and I guess people know this. We don't have one in the regular, like in the everyone Discord, but maybe you know this from other Discords. Discord has those forums where you can have different topics and then a chat within a topic. So almost like a thread, but it's like only threads basically. And so the way to go about it for a new feature is creating one in this forum, create a new post, describe what you want to do, and we together with you would like to write a specification, navigate you through, and then also what we're currently working on maybe as well, because as we just said, like what is currently being released on the week, like our monthly schedule has been in the works for the last 6 months. So stuff like that is basically what you have been talking about, just to make it a little bit more like understandable. It is like we have a roadmap. We are not communicating it publicly that much anymore because it's created pressure to sort of like release the next feature instead of fixing bugs, which we don't like. We'd like Portmaster to run well on all machines, first and foremost, and then features. And so, this sort of like is the nature, and then everything is done, and then we can start introducing new features with the bugs.
Review bugs.
to which we're gonna fix for the next half year or so. So, Matt, I think you already did it so great. So thank you for asking. I think how you did it was very good. Like we saw you starting to be active in a Discord. You gained the role of contributor through the activity you already had. And now you're in that, you see that corner and you can see what other people want to contribute as well, and see what they're doing, share with people who already have like some understanding of the code, some understanding of what's going on. And I think this is the way to go. For
so
people who want to code.
It is a separate space just to like keep discussions focused with other contributors. And if you want to contribute, then just ping us and let's have a quick chat. And if we see that you're like really into it and committed, then you can join that group.
Exactly. As I said, DMs are not open, but you can get a hold of me either on Discord or on some other corner. Email always works.
The internet.
Exactly. Email always works. Also, thank you, Mike, for being here. Talking about privacy is important. I agree. And it's always good to have a conversation and build relationships. I think so as well. Privacy is a trust thing. The reason why I think we have not talked about this for a long time, why we're doing the live streams. We feel like that, like, for you to trust us, it's important for us to open up and be part of, like, not just submitting code, but also be accessible, and sort of like to give you an understanding, at least a bit of who we are, why we're doing what we're doing, and so that you understand basically where we're going. It has been very interesting for me to talk with people who have been very, confused about what software, and I think this recently just was on the Discord as well. Somebody was like, oh, how much crap connections software makes on a system that has not been maintained. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And you trust all those applications every time you run them or you install them and stuff like that. And if you don't know who is running, like who's maintaining them and who's building them, I think you cannot trust them. It's hard. And so we want to be on here, on YouTube, on the Discord, being accessible, giving you the chance to get to know us at least a bit.
Yeah.
So you understand that what we do comes from a right spot, and it's where we're going is
it's a genuine interest in giving people privacy.
Yeah, exactly. And when we introduce stuff like the Portmaster Plus, it's to have sustainability and not to gatekeep. This is, I think, very important.
Yeah,
as well.
and in the long run, bring even more people privacy.
Exactly.
Because
no, absolutely.
The resources are there to advance this mission even further.
Exactly. To build further, improve further, and I think we talked about this on the contributor side as well recently when we talked about our experiences with people in different countries, and Portmaster at the moment, because we're limited in how we can build it, is fairly resource hungry. Like for our modern Western systems, this is not an issue. I have 16 gigs in my machine. I don't feel Portmaster at all. It's just running in the background, chugging along. But for some people, and we had someone doing a live stream of Portmaster, and I saw it loading, and I'm like, oh no, we need to move away from Electron to make it easier for that machine to run the Portmaster GUI.
Yeah.
At the moment, we don't have the resources to move away from Electron. And it is an easy way for us to go about it. But our heart is that we want to move away from Electron to make Portmaster more accessible, to get privacy to everybody. Like if you can only afford a Raspberry Pi, we want to be available on ARM as well, But this needs resources. This needs time. Yeah, we want to have it on iOS and macOS as well, but this needs resources, this needs time, this needs people. And so this is basically the direction we're going. And we love the contributors, and maybe this is the direction Portmaster is going. But up until now, it has been us. And so, again, thank you, Matt, thank you, Sam, for the contributions. But it's, the main bulk still lies with us, and so our goal is to increase availability, reduce barriers, and for that sustainability is important.
Yeah, it's also kind of with the size of the project, it is a lot easier to have a one focused team to plow forward. And there will always be contributors, and contributors are very welcome, but they solve specific kind of more isolated problems. But it's very hard for contributors to jump into the core of things and understand all the consequences of a change they're about to make. So there's a lot of knowledge about the code and the structure and how everything fits together that one needs to make confident changes to the system. And also kind of to them not break anything, not make it slower, not kind of introduce bugs that will show in a year from now. So there's a lot of things here that we need to build sustainable, high quality software that we need a core team for. But we are evaluating how can we get the community more into it, what parts can the community take over, and where does it make sense and where doesn't it. So
absolutely,
we're not trying kind of to, as you said, gatekeep or something. It's just what's the best model to drive our vision forward.
Which is privacy for as many people as possible. Get into the new future with protection, because it is only getting worse. Talking about Google earlier and how they know what time zone you're in. was it? No, I think this, or maybe, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do this, but for the first time, I think I sneak peek and video that the Linux Experiment is doing. If you're supporting him on Patreon, you know in advance as well. So shout out to Nick from the Linux Experiment. He will, I think, be doing a video on, but don't quote me on this, and don't blame him if he doesn't do it, but on why Google Analytics is like so widely spread. And basically the gist of it is they make it easy to integrate for programmers. And for programmers, knowing stuff about their users is great because they understand where to focus on. We are blind. We don't know what parts of the operating system people just ignore, like of Portmaster just ignore, and what stuff everybody does, where we could change the default basically. Maybe, and make it easier and stuff like that. We don't know that sort of stuff. We have to talk to you. You need to, if you share it on GitHub, on the Discord, via mail, this is how we understand what is actually like useful and what is sort of like hidden. But knowing, like seeing what people don't see, very difficult. And so, more and more trackers are built into software. And so basically stuff like uBlock Origin, great software. We use it in our browsers as well because we got this question fairly recently. It's difference between us blocking domains and uBlock or Origin blocking URLs. Maybe you can go into details there. But it this does not protect you from all the trackers and all the software you're using, especially with games. Easy anti-cheat. Cancer. Do you want to maybe go into uBlock Origin? Give people the time to write, because I see a couple people writing on the Discord, but nobody has posted anything yet.
So that's kind of a comparison we do quite often, kind of to explain Portmaster to people, where people are used to AppLock and what it does in their browser, and that's what Portmaster kind of brings to your whole system. But it's different on multiple levels. For one, of course, an AppLock or uBlock Origin lives inside the browser, so it sees everything kind of before it happens. So it sees the connection request the browser is about to make and sees all the details about it and can act on that, especially it sees the URL. When the Portmaster is the connection, the URL is already encrypted in most cases. So even if we were looking at data streams, we wouldn't be able to figure out what URL it is. So we can only block the full domains, which often kind of overblocks and just kills entire websites, which people want to visit. So for your browsing experience, uBlock is a necessity that Portmaster is not able to replace. So please continue to use uBlock Origin. It works on a very different level. It works differently and protects you from different things. And Portmaster kind of lives below that. And it can see a lot more in regards of like the connections. So the Portmaster can see every connection. uBlock Origin, for example, or AppLockers, browser extensions only see websites. A browser extension cannot block another browser extension, for example. So to block connections from a browser extension, you need, again, Portmaster. So they work at different levels. So uBlock Origin has more information, but Portmaster sees all the connections. So they kind of work well together. So definitely use both.
Maybe just to clarify this as well, because you said they're encrypted. We talked about this in the past as well. We're not we might do something in the future, but at the moment we don't want to break up encrypted stuff. This has been done by some by some antivirus Sorry. But it's bad, like from a security perspective and stuff like that. So this is stuff we don't want to touch at the moment.
Yeah, too many companies with big names screwed up big time. We're not going to be the next.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Have you seen Matt's question?
Matt is asking, could we provide opt-in anonymized instrumentation in the Portmaster UI to do a PopCon?
This was written in response to me saying, like, no analytics.
Yeah. What's a PopCon?
I have no clue.
Okay, good.
This is the reason why I wanted you to read it out.
It's probably not popcorn.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But
okay, but I think the idea is kind of to use anonymized telemetry things to give us some idea of what is going on. Okay, Matt is replying. Well, it's really difficult. We have
popularity contest.
Okay. So it is a fun idea to do popularity contest, kind of just to kind of like a voting system. Not the kind of if we gamify it in some way.
Gamification for me is associated with dark patterns and like bad behavior, you know.
Oh.
Loot boxes, dark patterns, this is what I'm thinking of. Gambling, gamify. That's only a stone throw away from, not that we could not do it in a proper way, hopefully, but it's like when I hear stuff like that, I'm always like, this is only a stone throw away
it's
from
difficult
gambling.
Because we would definitely want to have users fully consent to whatever they're sending us. So
Yeah.
we could do some local data collection, summarize that, present it to the user, and say, this is kind of your usage, and then we list features and present how much they use it. Do you want to vote in the contest with this data or something? And
cool idea.
and then kind of we can have people join in, and then of course the results will be public, and then kind of we see what people are using. That's a fun idea. Of course, doing all that is a lot of work because we have to implement that. And as you said with Google Analytics, for all like the normal telemetry stuff, there's just ready to go like software. You just like add that snippet to the code that kind of hooks into every component and records all the clicks and gives you great summaries. That's kind of just one day of work to get that going and you're done. But for us to get this minimal data, it's probably kind of more like a couple weeks of work just to get some data. So
which people then might send.
Yeah, so
which then could help us, you know. It's a lot of uncertainties on the way with a lot of work up front.
Yeah, so we could do something in that regard, but right now we don't see the value, especially in regards to the effort it will require to gather that data
at the moment.
In a kind of good way. So
since we're already on the topic, I wanted to share something when we're already talking about the possibility of how to sort of like in what situations people might want to share stuff in a private way with getting something in return. We got asked by people if we could sort of like collect, but with consent, and opt-in app behavior. So basically what is typical for Discord to do. And then alert people if your Discord is different from others. And just feedback, we're not doing this, but I heard this multiple times now. But if you would be interested in us doing something like that, maybe have it as an module, an explicit module you would have as a complete thing to turn on to participate. And then of course it would be something where you add to the pool and gain from the pool. As I said, like it's crowdsources behavior of applications and then alerts you if yours is handling different. this just if you think about stuff like that, maybe let us know your thoughts either on YouTube in the comments below, or go on the Discord to the link. There's a link below. Please click on that and share it in the thread so that we know what you're talking about and that people know what you're talking about. Let's get the general conversation a little bit less crowded over on the Discord. But I feel like I heard this. The idea is interesting. Also, the idea that Matt currently is having, like with maybe a popularity contest with anonymized data, all of that stuff is a lot of work. And the immediate benefits, we already know features that people want, which would be in the pipeline at the moment. So we don't want, every time people are asking, could you do this, could you do that? We're like, good for us to know that there is demand for this sort of stuff, but we try to focus on the things most people are asking for. So write in so that we know, have an idea how many people want stuff. But the reason why we're tackling the history stuff with the connection history is because so many people have been asking for it. So many people want this, and so we expect it to be interesting to people, you know, and this is the reason why I decided to go with that.
Yeah. Also, in regards to like all these ideas, as a kind of company that focuses on privacy, often it feels like we're reinventing the wheel, and sometimes, definitely often enough, we're not reinventing it, we're actually inventing the wheel. But we've definitely missed a couple times where we've reinvented the wheel. So if you kind of have an idea for something like the popularity contest and you know of another company or community that already has done it, please definitely tell us, because then we can look at what they've done. We can contact them and talk with them about it, and they can share their experience with us and how they did it, so we can learn from them. So also companies that are privacy minded can support each other in their mission. So if you know of if you have an idea for something and you know of another company that has done that, or a community successfully, then please tell us. We'd love to know. Always easier to have a go at something or already have seen someone else do it successfully or fail at it, so we know what not to do. So that can also be a good thing, but of course success stories are better to follow.
Mike J is asking for stuff where people can help us with high priority that the community can do to help. And would we think about a high priority channel for stuff to help out with? We used to have something in the help out saving stuff. I guess this did not work as well as I thought, or as you might think it could. But I think being in the beta, actually like sending us in information like, easy anti-cheat does not work on my machine, and stuff like that. It helps us understand if we can find bugs during the beta. This helps us like reduce the breadth of feedback we're getting in the stable release. If we push something that's not fully or as much with bugless as possible, the support load is so much higher, of course. So if you can run the beta, and if like are reporting bugs, this is a huge help always, because the more system it runs on, the better it is. And as we said, Mike, maybe you have not been here. If you want to write guides on the community wiki, so much help. There is a whole white paper about the SPN, which we want to transfer into the wiki.
That's true.
In the white paper, it's still called Gate 17. I think we had a live stream way back when, explaining the difference between, or why it was called Gate 17. Not gonna go into that now. Maybe in the future if the question comes up. But so I think we've already said it. Wiki helps a lot. I used to do a lot of wiki pages, and now I'm sort of like shifting again into writing a couple of blog posts. We're having a couple of releases at the moment. So this truly is the thing, and Mike, you already said it earlier as well. Talking about it, sharing it, also of course helps. Like the more people use Portmaster, the more private we are. And I like what Carrie Parker from Firewalls Don't Stop Dragons keeps on saying: privacy is a we thing, it's not an I thing. If you share your contacts with like Google or whoever, they have my contact information as well. And so privacy on the network, of course, as well, it's always a we thing. And so, yeah, sharing is caring in that regard.
Yeah, definitely. So the as you said, the main thing is be in a beta channel and tell us what breaks for you, because that helps us to know where the problems are and we can fix them faster. And also regarding documentation is important, but it's never urgent. And that's the problem that documentation has, because there's always something more urgent to do. But documentation is very important, but it's always something that kind of is very important for the long run. And there are a lot of other things that scream for short-term kind of benefits. And that's why documentation sometimes takes a while until it gets there. So documentation is important, and we like Discord, so we dislike the privacy part of Discord, but Discord is the one thing that seems to be working really well for our community.
So glad with all the engagement there.
I never expected that, but I'm super happy that it's working. So we got our community there. That's really nice. But all the stuff there is still very not persistent. And
people are asking the same questions over and over again.
And if questions are answered,
the answers get lost as well.
We can get them over there. And the easiest thing, of course, is to just ask the support bot. And if the support bot does a shit job at answering that question, go over to the wiki and help us add that information wherever it belongs to, so the bot can pick it up on the next training session, and then the bot will do better next time. So the bot is a really great resource we want to improve. So please use it and help us with documentation so the bot gets better, because in the end, everyone is happier. We're happier because we have to answer less requests. The people that have problems are happier because they get their solution really fast.
So true.
And also the community can focus on better things.
But you're implicitly saying, just to make this clear, you're implicitly saying when you talk about documentation, I think people are thinking about user guides in regards to sort of like, here is this button, it does that. Not stuff like that. I'd say it's more like a practical user guide. And we already have partly like this. I think you wrote the initially the how to use Portmaster introduction and stuff like that. This can be improved. I have a link to an article from Avoid the Hack where he's going through it. I recently retweeted a very cool video about like very little views. It's on Twitter about a guy I don't know. But it's where one of the first things he says, you see the network monitor at first, and this is an important part, but don't get hung up on it, which is so true. There is a reason why it's the first view. It's not done by accident. But I feel like many people get hung up on it and are sort of like then thinking of filter lists. And this has been on the Discord thing as well, where then everybody was talking about filter lists. But we don't want to solve everything with filter lists, because sometimes you want to do something very precise for one application. Then don't add it to a filter list, add it to the application, and stuff like that. So it's how you go about organizing your Portmaster setup might be useful for somebody who's new. And if you're more experienced, please reach out to us via mail. You can get access to the support wiki. We don't track anything there. Your IP address is not stored there. We need an email address for you to be able to log in, but I think publicly it's not shown. Otherwise, just create a free Proton email address, a new one just for this purpose, and we create an account for you. And yeah, so basically I think that's it. You will never get emails from the Safing Wiki because we have not configured an email server there. So
which is also a problem. We might do it one day.
Maybe. Maybe
because
then you
password
get emails.
resets would still be nice.
You can contact us and we can do it manually and stuff like that.
Okay,
So
yeah, we'll figure it out.
we will figure it out. But just so you know, I think like the wiki actually and if it's just an FAQ, if it's just a guide, and if you don't feel comfortable with it, like publishing it, write it, and let us know about it, and we can go through it as well. And we can clean it up and stuff like that. If you can do screenshots for it, all is beautiful and all is well. And I think this is the best help for the community, not just for us. The benefit to us is less people asking us questions. The benefit for the community is, as you said, faster responses, easier to understand, easier to get into and stuff like that. Yeah. So if you have, if you could share how you use Portmaster on a daily basis, and even if you just say, I never open it, that would be interesting to many people maybe as well, because another tidbit, you know how often I have to tell people that Portmaster auto starts and does not like open the window, and they're like, but I want to open, I want to see that it is doing something. I'm like, you should not have the window open. It's Electron. It eats up memory. You should not have the window open. You should, no.
Maybe we should add some more cool stuff to the notifier so they see it's working.
No, not the notifier. Okay, we get so many questions about the notifier as well.
Someone found the fix for why it's not starting.
Is it Matt? Has it been Matt?
I just got emails. I was like, oh, someone found something. Yeah, I haven't looked into it. Yeah. Okay. I was gone the last couple of days, so I'm just catching up.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I think we can do a wrap up. I want to do a couple of quick shout outs to people from the community. If maybe I will do this regularly, but Dash, you have not been here. If you're rewatching this later on, leave a comment below. Maybe you're on a summer break, whatever. Miss you, man. Hope you're doing well. We already talked about Mike. Very cool that you've been on the Discord. Matt, thank you for being active on the Discord. Thank you for all the contributions you're doing. Sam, I don't know if Sam has ever been on a live stream, but thank you for the contributions. Moss has been very active and friendly on the Discord, so thank you at Moss on the Discord. And Esco, a good soul who is doing so much stuff, also already on the wiki, doing stuff on the Discord, helping people, and doing things on GitHub as well. So thank you, Esco, as well. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Those are the names that just sprang to my mind. Maybe I'll do some other outs next time in 2 weeks. Thank you. I guess that's it.
Too fun.
It was. Have a nice week.
Yeah.